I will talk about India and what India is really looking at, or what you're looking at with India in terms of the conversations. But do you see a shift in how India has approached the entire negotiations or engagement with the Afghan side? Are they looking at you or members of the Northern Alliance, the erstwhile Northern Alliance, as their traditional partners now? Because we know that for a very long period of time, they were engaging the Afghan government and only the government. Now, are they looking at the larger picture of if the Taliban returns, if there is resistance, that face of that resistance could very well be General Dostum, who was here, you, and a few others from the Northern Alliance?
India will continue to engage the government of Afghanistan. The High Council for National Reconciliation is also part of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, and it's the legitimate government of the country. And India will continue to engage the government and also politicians outside the government. That's also with the history of India's support to the people of Afghanistan. That may be the, I wouldn't call it a new feature in their politics, but a new energy in engaging broader public in Afghanistan, or people which represent the people there, different constituencies. But the principle of supporting the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan in inclusive, peaceful settlement is something that everybody has appreciated when it comes to the policy of India.
Do you, or in your conversations, have you looked at India engaging the Taliban as well for more lasting peace in the region? Is that a conversation that took place?
It was more on the general aspect of the engagement. India will be playing a role amongst the forces which will be there with other partners of us in the region and beyond. That will continue. And I'm, in terms of advising other governments, I'm a bit cautious, and that was, I did not raise that.
But you have been engaging other governments. You were in Pakistan end of September, you're
Yes.
here. What is the idea of engaging Pakistan, India at this point in time? Because we do know that India has its own concerns when it comes to Pakistan and Pakistan's role in peace in Afghanistan.
Well, I heard the same thing: peaceful settlement, inclusive peaceful settlement in Afghanistan. That was the statements made when I was there in Pakistan, and during that visit was also very extensive. I met with the political leadership, Prime Minister Imran Khan, and security defense establishment of Pakistan, civil society, ulamas, all together. And that was what I heard from everybody. I know the status of relations between different countries, that I'm aware of that. But I do believe that in peaceful, stable Afghanistan, everybody has a stake.
But do you trust the Pakistanis?
It's the issue that you continue to engage, you interact, you continue to try to work together. For us, peace in Afghanistan and peaceful settlement of the situation in Afghanistan is a topmost priority. And I left Pakistan with positive impressions. And that's politicians in different capitals, they talking differently. I'm not that sort of politicians. I left with positive impressions, and but everybody has a role, and then the people of Afghanistan will see, will judge what happens based on the actions taken, and that will be that is before us, and so that's one part of it. I'll be traveling to other parts of the region as well, because based on that one important basic principle, that unstable Afghanistan, Afghanistan at war, could impact all the countries around Afghanistan in the region, and vice versa.
Did India raise the issue of terrorism, cross-border terrorism, terrorism emanating from Pakistan, and the fact that they harbor or continue to provide safe havens to elements that are inimical to the interests of Afghanistan and India alike?
We talked about the issue of Afghanistan instability in the terrorist groups using Afghanistan soil against other countries, including India. In our talks were contained to the issues of bilateral relations, and we know it's important for every country, especially India, that tomorrow peaceful Afghanistan is not a threat, or there is no terrorist threat emanating from Afghanistan against India, and that's a legitimate concern based on what had happened in the past. That has been raised. We have discussed different aspects of it. We also, when we negotiate with the Taliban, we don't want Afghanistan that, okay, there is an agreement with the Taliban, then Al Qaeda, ISIS, all the other terrorist groups are freelancing there for a long time to come. That's not peace. That does not mean peace. Peace means Afghanistan free of the scourge of the terrorist groups.
Would that also mean ridding assurances from Pakistan of ridding their country of these terror elements?
As I mentioned, it was based on our bilateral relations, issues that countries have between themselves. They will raise it. With one another, and as a whole, terrorist groups do not serve any country's legitimate interest. That's if there is one lesson in the past 40 years on top of what I mentioned earlier, that's my firm belief.